let's take a look at those carbs. What we have here, we've got the piston stuck in there, so we're going to place this on the top of there and try whacking it out. We can't decide if it's rusted along here and stuck or along here, but the fluids that we pump in around here seem to soak through, so we think it might be this inner piston that's the problem. So we've got a precarious setup there. We're going to try a couple of bangs.
Just in case it moves. Yes, it's moved.
It has moved, has it?
Yes.
Okay, let's... Oh yeah, you can see. I don't know if everyone's seen that. I think we've got most of my head in this, but it's now slightly out, so
Let's get some more stuff in now.
some more penetrating oil in.
Yeah, and leave it for a bit.
Right, so we'll come back to this in a bit. We realised, and by we I mean John, that we had this resting on here, so we weren't going to get it any further out that way. So I have been holding the base, and he's been hitting, and it's been coming loose.
All right.
Yep. And there we are.
Good.
So that's come out. We can see that is where it was rusted on. You can see how rusty that is. So,
And the inside.
so the inside of this will also be, can I get that in? Pretty poor. But, oh, and still very stiff, so. Yeah, but that'll come.
Want cleaning here.
I want to clean, yeah. So, but at least we've got everything moving now. Even if not quite as much as we'd like yet.
That's come forward, hasn't it?
The other one pops out a bit as well.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, so I think as long as we've got everything moving, I mean, we might need just a bit of emery cloth on that to clean it. Or
On this,
yeah,
I wouldn't.
no,
I'd just,
nothing at all.
I'd just maybe a wire wool just to.
You can you feel the end? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite smooth everywhere, apart from just at the end. There's just a little bit of roughness. Still. Good to know it's making progress. Failed to show this yesterday, but we managed to get the other one loose as well. John did it by looking up the various expansion points of brass and aluminum and stuff, and having done that, he thrust this into some hot water, and then it came loose by grabbing this with a cloth and pulling it in. It seemed to do enough because the expansions were different. So we need to make sure the float is moving properly on here, and the little pin that drops up and down Need to make sure everything's moving, but once we've done that, we'll have everything moving, and so we'll start looking at reassembling. But this is still a bit rusty, so clearly we've got to do a bit of cleaning as well, but we're going to work through that now. That moves fine, so we won't bother to take it apart anymore. This little bit falls down with it as well. So that's all good. So I'm not going to, on this one, bother taking this off. There seems there was no point in it. Need to give it a bit of a clean, especially the gasket. And I need to see what I've got in terms of, I bought a gasket kit for it, make sure I've got everything in there. And I've got to decide if I want to... See, the purpose of this is not a rebuild. The purpose of this is to try to get it working enough to try to start the engine. Let's remember that. And so I'll just clean this off. I'll do a bit of cleaning around here just because I can. And then we'll start reassembling. But we'll go through all the bits to show that everything is working before we do that. Show that all the bits are now loose. Let's have a look at the moving parts now on the rear. Carb. So that moves nicely. Okay, if we look at this, we've got that falls out, moves out. Nice and smooth. So I need to get this lower. There we go. Okay, so if we look there. Alright, so that was held in by my finger. We've got this now, moves in and out of here very freely. Okay, so that's all nice. The lifter is now moving. That's okay. Still use a clean, but these springs spring back nicely, including this. We did do a little bit of a clean in here, so it all needs a clean to get rid of any parts, bits, you know, but other than that, I reckon ready to go back together. So that's the left hand side. I'm just going to do some work on the right, and then we'll have a look at the right hand side, the front. Okay, so with the other carb now, we've got everything moving nicely, so that so that moves okay. My dad is moving my arm, so this is in camera. Okay, so that moves. The lifting pin is now moving, which of course it wasn't before. We've got this moving out nicely, so that's good. And the needle that was frozen in is was moving a bit more smoothly earlier, but it's also going in and out quite nicely. So we're going to try a drop test next to see if we can get both pistons falling at approximately the same rate. We've taped over the holes on both pistons. This way, John. That's it. Okay. And now we're going to just do the drop test. So if you come in a bit more. That's it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, drop. That looks pretty good to me. I'm quite pleased with that. I wasn't expecting that at all. So we'll run with that. We're going to put it all back together now. We've been trying to clean out the bottom of the float chambers. And they're a lot better. You can see it's a lot better than it was, but we've still got a bit of discoloration, at least in the bottom. we have blown through all of the pipes to make sure that we can get air coming through, so we think they're, if not perfect, they're clear enough to allow stuff through.
Just try and wiggle a little bit of wire in.
All but this one we haven't got clear. I don't know if you could see that, so we're going to try a little bit of wire through it to see if we get anywhere. So we cleaned out the other one with the wire in there, the wire, just poking it through and wiggling it around a bit through both here down to here and top bottom. Then I blew it and a whole bunch of stuff came out. I don't know if it will come out on this one, but we'll see. Well, I saw some dust. I don't know if it came out on camera, but those are definitely clearer now. This is the piston that we had to bang out, and we've putting it back together discovered a bit of an issue in that this has clearly been distorted very slightly because it won't go in. We've tried this on the other piston and it goes in fine, and we tried the other top on this piston and it comes stuck here, so this has been made slightly smaller. We did find that we had to file this end just a little bit, so we're going to take a bit of a break, then come back and have a look at this after lunch. Right, we're going to try drilling. We think we're hoping it's just burred on the inside, so we're going to try with this, drill it out a bit. We're going to put a bit of fluid on there first.
Yeah.
So we'll start with some
I don't know
pentry.
if you do when grinding, but
That'll do it.
right.
Yeah. Nothing. Doesn't seem to be doing it. We've got some progress in that it goes in now, but we can feel the friction there. I don't know if you can hear it, which we're trying to deal with. The way we did it in the end was, we won't do it, John, don't switch on. I held it like that, we turned it on, and that got us through the first bit. And then we've used this file to, we think there must have been quite a lot of rust in there, so we've used the file to try to loosen it up. And I think we're now going to try a little bit of emery paper.
I think
Or maybe we're going to stick with this for a little bit.
I'll keep with this, I think, because
So it has scored, I think, very gently. Is that in focus? It's scored this a little bit, trying to get it in, but we're almost there. We've almost got it to the point where we should be able to use it. We've got it to the state where we want it. It's moving in and out now really freely. So we used a bit of carb cleaner on it, and with a cloth and this file we just went down and just got it in as far as we could and moved it about, and then we just moved the float up and down. What is it? What's this called?
plunger.
The plunger. We moved the plunger up and down a bit and it's suddenly freed up. So we've got some cleaner in there which we'll pour out to make sure any bits that are with that come out. Test it again and then we'll go with that. So it's taken us a while because we didn't have someone, me, hadn't taken photos. But we've got it back on. Everything looks like it's fine and working. So we've got the choke here, pulls this, everything moves okay. The accelerator, there we go, moves it. Alright, so that all looks okay. The pistons are moving now. We do need to put some oil in there, but given that we're not anywhere near starting the engine yet, that's okay. We do need to replace these breather hose, because they're so badly cracked to have any chance. We can't work out what goes here. Okay, so we've got a little bit of an end of a pipe there, which goes somewhere. Anyone who can tell us, please drop a comment, a note, so that I know what I'm ordering. Won't be back up here for about a month, hopefully back up in September. And so I want to purchase everything that I need for the next bit of what we're trying to do. And so that would be great if you know. Thank you.